Hello, my name is Taylor Coyne, joining you from Los Angeles.
And my name is James Cook, coming to you from Indiana. We both research retail and real estate. There's my light for JLL.
Ooh, that's a good timing. And on that note, this is everything that we know about retail.
This is the show where we tell all of you everything we know about retail, but 3 things at a time. So Taylor, what do you know about retail?
So glad you asked, James. Well, I know that live streaming is the new shopping channel, and domestic travel is making a comeback. Woo! More green shoots. James, what do you know about retail?
Well, speaking of green shoots, I know about some new experiential retail concepts that are now opening in the U.S. in order to be ready for those hoped-for summer crowds. But first, let's get into live stream shopping. I'm thinking, is this like the new QVC? Is that what we're talking about here?
Oh, James, yes, that is a fantastic comparison. So here's the first thing that we know about retail is that, yes, live streaming, also a different it's like QVC 2.0.
Nice.
2. Whatever.
3.0,
like
who knows?
Yeah, I don't know what number we're on right now. I don't know what the kids are doing. But, since the pandemic, James, rewind a little bit to an episode we did, I guess, around the holidays, when we took a virtual tour of the Ralph Lauren store on Rodeo Drive. And that whole point, right, was for you to be able to interact with this brand without you going into the store. So think same line, right? Is that, okay, brands, you're not going out to the store as much, so how can we interact with all of these customers? So recently, a Coresight survey came out and said that live streaming, new channel. And you're familiar with Coresight, and they are very on top of all of the trends in China. So this has been going on for a long time in China, but I think it's slowly starting to trickle into the US. So in March, 80.6% of people use social media platforms, which
that's a lot.
It's a lot. Honestly, if you said 95, I'd also say, yeah, okay, sure. But 60% of those integrate social media platforms into their shopping process. And that is especially true of those who follow influencers, etc. So while live stream based e-commerce right now in the US only represents a few $1 billion, that could grow 10 to 20 times over the next decade, according to UBS. And then Coresight also thinks that it's going to make $6 billion this year and could be $25 billion already by 2023. In China, like I said, where it's already incredibly popular, the market's expected to grow to $305 billion just this year. So, this is not small. This is serious stuff. And it has been particularly popular with beauty brands.
Oh,
and would you like to see what one of these live streams looks like? Because I know I do.
What is this? This is Estee Lauder?
This is Estee Lauder, and they said that their online sales growth just of Q1 this year is improved. Like, they saw great gains just because of all of these digital services like shoppable live stream and digital consultations. And then since 2021, granted, we were kind of off to a slow start this year, but, that's not a 2020 number. People are still liking this kind of interaction and watching people, test on these products. So in this video, you can just see these 2 women who are going through all of these products on the right. I can shop anything that they're, trying on.
Wow.
And then people are talking about it. There's a lot of chat. Barb says double wear. Yay.
Barb, you did it again.
Barb, she's so into it. And then people ask questions too, even for sensitive skin. I just think it's a really great way for people to interact with these brands. And again, yes, of course, you can go into the store. It's a convenience, and it's also entertainment, especially if you're following someone. So, and Estee Lauder, not the only one. Burberry is on Twitch, which, yeah,
That's where
video games.
that's yeah, for anybody not familiar with Twitch, huge live streaming platform mainly for video games. But I mean, there are, I know there's some live podcasts and different brands that do stuff like
Yeah.
Burberry.
Burberry. So this
Huh.
aired 2 months ago, and it was their 2021 men's collection for later this year. Also, we've got to talk about how we're already on autumn winter 2021, but that's for a discussion for another day. But this was just another way of Burberry saying, okay, how can we interact with a different kind of, maybe our consumers that are on Twitch? There are a lot of different ways that some of these brands are interacting with people. Walmart is on TikTok now. So in December, they worked with TikTok influencers, which, I'm sure if we said some TikTok influencer names, like lots of people would know. I don't, but there's a whole cohort that does. But they had a first of its kind shoppable live stream on the platform. And the company later reported no exact numbers, but they had 7 times as many views than the original estimates and increased the retailer's TikTok presence by 25%. I don't know how one's presence on TikTok is measured. I'm not, in on all of that, but I still think that that's really impressive. And also the fact that Walmart partnered with TikTok, and then another brand we're very familiar with, Nordstrom, they're doing these, you can still RSVP to future events. This one in particular is sustainable fashion. So you have this woman who works at Nordstrom going through all of their different sustainable brands. This was done on Earth Day. And so she goes through all of these different sustainable brand products, touches them, feels them, talks you through it. It is a little bit more, you're not in the store, but at least you're learning about the products. And again, I think this goes back to, okay, great. Those pants look really interesting. She says they're soft. Maybe I'm going to go to the store now, beeline to the pants that are soft, touch them for myself. But, I've gone in with this extra bit of knowledge. So I'm going to go and, actually make a purchase.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, there's so many platforms that are vying for sort of that live stream shopping. I'm curious, going back to that first example, Estee Lauder, they made it look like Instagram, but then there were, there it is. There's, shopping stuff on the side, but this is just streaming on their website, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating. But they, again, I think to kind of to your point, also maybe you could do it on maybe like you could at the time. So this wasn't live. Maybe you can watch a portion of it on Instagram, but they want people to go to the site because you can purchase on here, even though, you can buy stuff on Instagram now too. You can buy all of these products on all of these different platforms. But, part of me feels like the design was meant to be like Instagram. But it also easily could have been an Instagram live feed, but it was also on their website, and you can RSVP on their website. And that is how I found this video of these lovely ladies talking about all of these different products. But I mean, right? QVC to the max, but just different. And Coresight, makes a point too of mentioning that this is going to be really important for brands to partner with people that we don't know, but all of these influencers who use this platform, on how important that's going to be to this whole thing. So Get used to it. I don't know how much you're going to be buying on some of these live streams, but people out there are going to. Again, people spend a ton of money on QVC.
Taylor, I bought a t-shirt off of Instagram last week. I'm living in the future.
So see, there you go. All of that advertisement, it works. Can you tell us about the t-shirt?
Yeah, it's actually, I got it from my wife. It's a gift. It's, do you know the Oscar the Grouch book, The Monster at the End of the Book?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's a t-shirt of that. Of the, you go to the end, they says, don't turn the page, and you get to the end, there's a monster at the end of the book, and it's not Oscar the Grouch, it's Grover. Grover's the monster at the end of the book. Anyway, it's a t-shirt of that kid's book, Taylor. So, anywho,
hey, I think
the second thing that we know about retail.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. I just got an itchy trigger finger. I'm just going to keep it going. So, Taylor, I am always trying to pay attention to what are the new stores that are opening, and we have them. There are new stores that are opening. I mean, often there's really kind of two categories of stores. One is about convenience. The other is about experience. And we've got both that I want to talk about today. So let's start with the convenience category first, with the newest 7-Eleven concept. This is their Evolution concept. This is owned and operated by 7-Eleven corporate, so not a franchisee. This is in Dallas. This is the newest version of their Evolution format. So they own this brand Laredo Taco. So they've got a drive-through and inside sit-down area for Laredo Taco. And the drive-through is a first for 7-Eleven. They're doing mobile checkout, delivery, bakery. They have a beer cave. Do you see that? Oh, I see a wine cellar. I don't see a beer. Oh yeah. There in the back right is a beer cave.
Yeah. I mean, what's a convenience store without a beer cave?
I know. It's like when you go to the Walgreens on the strip in Las Vegas, they have a beer cave there. That just blows my mind as well. One more thing the press release said, these photos are from the press release, is that they have on tap novelty beverages. Taylor, I don't know what that is. Any guess on what an on tap novelty beverage at 7-Eleven might be?
Is that like a slushie? Would it be a slushie? Would it be an icy thing? Like this is our taco flavored slushie?
Maybe. I mean, so like novelty beverage means to me something new, and slushie's pretty run of the mill for
maybe
7-Eleven.
It's new flavors, maybe it's like, okay, we're going to take the thing that everyone knows about, the slushies, and we're going to make it something that no one needs, but this is going to be how it's novelty, and it's going to be, no offense, gross.
It's in Texas, so like maybe like a Lone Star beer flavored slushie or something like that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Something a little strange like that. Or again, it's like one of those buzzwords that we're just throwing out there, even though we know it's not really novelty.
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah. Well, so that's our example for convenience. Let's get into the fun stuff. Let's get into the experiential. Let's zoom in. We're in Manhattan now, and we're going to zoom in into the Flatiron district in Manhattan, actually right next to the Flatiron building. This is at 935 Broadway. And I don't know if you can see it from this vantage point. It's a little tough to see, but there's a 3-story building next to the Flatiron building where we are about to see Harry Potter. Harry Potter is here. Get used to it. It is a 3-story Harry Potter experience store, which is going to be sure to bring in the tourists from all around the world. As far as I can tell, this is the biggest. It's like 21,000 square feet. I think this is the biggest Harry Potter store that there is. Are you a Harry Potter fan?
Oh, huge Harry Potter fan.
Okay, good. You're going to fill in some blanks for me because I'm aware, like I've seen some of the movies, read some of the books, but I'm sure you know a lot more. So this is a phoenix that means something?
No, it is. I believe it is. It's not a phoenix. Is it a phoenix?
Well,
that's how you get up into Dumbledore's office. But I don't think it's a phoenix. I think it's just his animal is a phoenix. He's got a phoenix in his office. That's his Patronus. Not to get too much into it. We're going to get into the weeds and it's just going to be embarrassing. But anyway, that is how you get. It's very cool. You step into it and it like moves around the staircase and that's how you go up.
Oh, that's awesome. So this is a big, whatever that is. And I'm not making fun. I just don't remember the words you said.
That's fine. I want to say actually it might be like a griffin or something.
Okay, cool.
But that's a phoenix.
Oh, the ceiling? Oh, yeah, you're right. I bet that's the phoenix.
That's the fox, the phoenix.
Fox the phoenix. Okay, here it is in my notes. Floating model of Fox the Phoenix. Yes. So they've got this 3 stories, 15 areas of different themed areas. They were supposed to open last summer. They've pushed it to June 3rd. So it's opening this summer. There's all kinds of places for different photo opportunities. Just look at this. This is so much fun. they've
James,
got
are those shoes? Can you go back to that image? I'm having trouble seeing. Are those shoes? Are they
where
Harry Potter branded shoes on the back wall, or are they just different products? And actually, they might be animals. And that for some reason, I'm just thinking that they're shoes.
there's like plush owls and plush Dobby. Oh, I know.
Sorry,
I knew
I just
Dobby.
didn't.
There's plush Dobbies.
Yeah, there you go. I apologize. It was a little bit smaller on my screen. I was like, wow, that's so fascinating. You can get Harry Potter branded shoes. I see it now. I see all the Hedwigs and some other animals that I don't recognize, but you are right, Dobby.
Got it. Yeah. So there is a wand area where you can get your own wands. They have wands that are specific to just this store. Oh, that was the last photo. Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. They've got photo op areas. You can pose inside of one of Hagrid's boots. They can do different personalization stuff for you. They're going to be rolling out some VR experiences that they're going to host here. So it's a whole bunch of different stuff. Are you excited? Are you going to go?
Oh, I'm definitely going to go. Now, question is this their first freestanding Harry Potter store? Do you know that's like not part of, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter?
No, it's not. There's one at King's Cross in London.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah, but all of the others that I know about are part of a themed experience, either in the US or the UK. For those completists out there, we interviewed Callum Lumsden, whose firm designed those Harry Potter stores. I should find out if he did this one. We should have him on the show.
Oh, that would be great.
The problem is they sign NDAs, so he can only be very vague. Like I'm like, all right, so did you talk to J.K. Rowling? And he can't say who he talked to or anything like that. So let me move on to the experiential place that I'm most excited about. Taylor, what are the three things I like most? I like food, I like beer, and I like mini golf. And this is all three in one.
I mean, I don't know. I could have filled that list with some other stuff too.
Right?
That would have been. We should have done that should have been a quiz.
What does James like most? So this is Putt Shack. It just opened in Atlanta, Midtown Atlanta, which is kind of a hip area. They have 3 locations in London, but this is their first U.S. location. It is in the Interlock, which is a new mixed-use development that has tech office, apartments, hotel, F&B, retail. This one's even bigger than the Harry Potter experience. This is 25,000 square feet. It's an upscale food and beverage offering, so it's not the place you're going to take the kids for a party. This is where you're going to go out with your friends on a Friday, Saturday night and have some fun. They use trackball technology, which is the same technology that Topgolf uses. So what that means is the mini golf games keep score for you, which I love because you could hold your drink in one hand, your putter in the other, and you don't have to worry about keeping score.
But then you can't cheat.
Oh. Well, I mean, that is true. That is
Sorry,
true.
not that I've ever cheated at mini golf before. Never.
Well, it's not cheating. It's like you give you and your friends a certain amount of do-overs, and you're like, oh, that didn't count. And you're like, bop, 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 and we'll count those 3 taps as one because who cares, right?
Right. And exactly, as you get further and further along and you've had more drinks, everyone's a little bit more like, do it over again. It's fine. So, it removes that.
Yeah. I'm just excited. This course, the actual mini golf course, looks cool. Like they've done some unique stuff. There's a lot of different fun games, like different trick shots and different themes and stuff. So I'm really excited about it. So they're open now in Atlanta. They just opened in the end of April. They've signed leases in Chicago, Miami, and Nashville. So those are coming. I mean, the build outs for these are insane. So it's not like these are going to open tomorrow. It's going to take a little bit of time. But in Nashville, they're opening in the Gulch, which we talked about the Gulch before. It's a pretty hip neighborhood in Nashville. And it's going to be in redevelopment of the Gibson Guitar Factory in Nashville.
That seems on brand. I can see, that's going to be very cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if the one in Miami and Nashville will have any outdoor component, just since it is nicer in some years. And you think about mini golf, you think outside, but it might be maybe there'll just be an outdoor bar or something.
Oh, that's a good point. I bet there is a chance there would be an outdoor seating area or bar, but for whatever reason, I think it's so they can do all four seasons. They've chosen to keep the actual golf course is all indoors for all the Putt Shack locations that I've seen.
Yeah, which again makes sense. This looks awesome. I wish it
Yeah,
was coming to LA. Um, it just looks like so
I'm,
much fun. And oh my goodness, especially after pandemic, do you know how many first dates are going to happen
I
here?
know.
So many, so many.
People are just going to fall in love over mini golf. Yeah, I mean, I think about like how many, early dates I did as, especially in the younger years over a game of mini golf. It's just easy. It's something
Yeah,
to do.
because you're doing something, you're moving around. It's a good activity to do while you're not like super separated from the other person.
Well, Taylor, I'm just going to put it out in the universe and see if it comes back to us. But I think we're going to get here. I think we're going to have a business purpose to head out to Atlanta sometime in the not too distant future, and we're going to do a live video from the actual Putt Shack location. What do you say?
That sounds fantastic.
Awesome. So Taylor, what else do you know about retail?
Well, James, I'm glad you asked, and I'm glad you just talked about that because the third thing that I know about retail is that domestic travel is going to return faster than international. Not terribly shocking, but it's already back on the rise, which, I mean, if we're making plans to, go to Putt Shack, that
Hmm.
doesn't seem outrageous. That's just awesome.
Yeah.
So I traveled for the first time since August, just this past weekend. I went to Santa Barbara. This is Santa Barbara. This is State Street. It was, I don't want to say wild because like it wasn't wild, but just in wild in comparison to how life has been for the past year, it was wild. And of course, I'm here in Southern California, so there's so much outdoor dining and outdoor seating, but people were back. Our hotel said they've not been busier this past year than they have now. They're like almost sold out of all of their rooms. We're not full at like herd immunity, or I know we're not using that term anymore,
Right.
but they've been booked pretty solid. And all of
Wow.
the hotels that we went by too, again, didn't go in and ask, but people are back. People are traveling. Santa Barbara's a big tourist city, town, whatever you want to call it. But it was just so like you could tell there were a ton of people from out of town there, and it was just awesome. Um,
Wow. So you had a good time. You felt comfortable.
100%. And not to mention, did I feel comfortable in the middle of the trip? The CDC comes out and says if you are fully vaccinated, you can also be outside and not wear a mask, with some other
Awesome.
stipulations and such. But no, for the first time in a long time, too, I was just commenting. I was like, I feel great. I'm not nervous. I'm not uncomfortable. Like, there were people around, but I just felt like we were in such a better place that it didn't feel risky at all,
Gotcha.
um, which is awesome because James, as you know, jumping ahead here, it's been hard, right?
Yeah.
So travel spending declined 42% last year. It was
Wow.
679 billion in 2020. That's just like it's a lot. And you can see, so look at this chart on the left. This is from our hotels team who's put this together with a bunch of different data. You can see tourist arrivals up here in the red. Everything's fine. You see some dips when, obviously we're going through recessions and we
Mm.
have other, serious things happening in the world, but nothing like when COVID hits.
Wow. That was a plunge.
It was funny. The first time I looked at this chart, I like didn't even my like brain didn't even recognize the right hand side because it was just so different from everything else. So this makes sense, right? So international travel and business travel suffered the sharpest declines. So international travel on its own fell 76% compared to a 34% for domestic travel. And then business travel spending fell 70%. Again, that, makes sense, right? Who's
Hmm.
sending their employees to work? And there was only a 27 drop for leisure travel. But people want to get back out there, and that's what we're going to focus on. It's going to take a little bit longer, but even on the international visitors to arrivals to the US, it's going to take a little while to come back.
Oh,
But
wow. Yeah.
yeah, it's going to take a little while, but look at this one. So there was a great presentation by Oxford Economics this past week that talked about domestic air travel recovery, and they touched upon international too. And there's a lot going on in this chart, but what you need to pay attention to is the blue line. So already in 2021, they expect 72% of travel passengers domestically of 2019 levels. So great. I will take it. In 2022, we are back at 104% of 2019 levels.
Nice.
So they fully expect a big surge. And you can see the surge too for international. So international is your red line. That's going up too. It's just going to take longer. Again, no real surprise there, right? That people are going to be a little bit more hesitant. But I mean, you saw the news, right? What was the EU is going to be allowing American visitors who have been vaccinated this summer, right?
Yeah, I was kind of debating whether that was something I wanted to consider. I can't decide. You know, like I kind of think I'll probably keep it domestic this summer.
Yeah, you know, it's this like weird mental thing. You're ready to get back out there and you want to do all the things, but at the same time, you know, we've been trained of travel is bad, people are bad, and you kind of like, all right, let me just dip my toes into it first. I'll stay local, you know, local being the United States until I feel a little bit better about it.
Yeah, you can't turn that off. You've got to ease back into it, which is surprising because I would have thought, no way, I'll just jump right in as soon as possible. But everybody's got a different level of mental, what's the word I'm looking for?
Barrier.
Yeah,
mental. Yeah, it's sort of that, right? Some kind of mental block, perhaps, that we all have to work through after this very traumatic year. So
I just like to point out the irony of me being blocked on the word mental block. So anyway,
it's fitting. So again, all of this is really positive news in my mind. Again, obviously it doesn't happen overnight, but I just feel like we've been hit with a lot of good news. And I'm going to end on that good news of this aspect of tourism, because I will say when I was gone, I made 2 reservations on OpenTable. So I am part of this recovery.
Cool.
But I showed this a couple weeks ago. This is OpenTable's reservation data. Thick line is what we're going through in 2021 compared to 2019. Dotted line 2020 compared to 2019 on a steady incline. We took a serious dip that I'm not quite sure why we did in early April. I'm open for any commenter suggestions or ideas on why we took such a hit, but we're already back up again. Which, you know, one, of course, this is a lot of local too, but as I was in Santa Barbara and I stayed at a hotel, we did not have, you know, we were not cooking. We went out to eat every single meal and it was phenomenal.
Cool.
So
cool,
more
cool,
green
cool.
shoots, more green shoots.
That's awesome. All right. Well, hey, let's jump over and check out, see if we have any comments. Oh, yeah. So we had asked what novelty drinks they might have at 7-Eleven. One example from Doug Cook is rum slushy. Yeah, I think they probably already have that at the 7-Elevens in New Orleans, right?
Probably. It sounds one, I do not like slushies, and 2, I do not like rum. So that is unappealing to me.
I'm not a slushy person. I don't hate rum, but I'm not super big time into it either. At any rate, you should check out our podcast if you want more in-depth interviews. It's called Where We Buy. It's on whatever podcast you listen to, whatever podcast app you choose to listen to, or you can go to wherewebuy.show and check it out. You can also join us here. You know what? You really need to hit that subscribe button right now. Taylor, our subscribe. There you go.
Subscribe button.
Yeah.
Oh.
That subscribe button, so that you make sure you don't miss an episode of the Everything We Know About Retail show, which we do every week. I am confused. What's up next?
Next, we're going to have, don't forget, part of the subscribe thing is clicking on the bell that alerts you when a new episode comes out, because that is just as equally as important. If we now know anything, live streaming is key to our brand, and the bell will help us continue to get more followers. Maybe we'll be on Twitch one day. New episode next Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. 5 p.m. in Lisbon.
That's Portugal for all of you people who don't know. Very important. Probably what, 50% of our audience coming from Portugal, do you think?
Yeah, I think that actually might be a little conservative. I would, 50, 53, 54, but yeah, for sure.
All right. So, Taylor, fill in for a second while I get organized. How do we turn off the hit the subscribe button?
Oh, I apologize. I'm just so eager about all of my subscribing that I just like really want people to subscribe. I just like if you get anything from the show, subscribe.
I've been a little loosey-goosey today. I keep getting disorganized, but I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back right now. 3, 2, 1. Taylor, what else do you know about retail?
James, I'll tell you all of it next week.